Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I am here with my little baby girl Blake, and she is almost 4 months old. I thought it'd be good to film kind of a tips and tricks video on breastfeeding and things I've learned and some of the essentials. Like I said, she is almost 4 months old and she has been exclusively breastfed. We just now started introducing a bottle, which is a whole different video. It's been really hard to get her to take one. My little munchkin has just been breastfed. Say hi. She is my first, so it was kind of tricky getting the hang of breastfeeding. I didn't really know what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. I didn't really know what to expect, what was normal, what wasn't normal. But I learned a lot of good things along the way, and right now I'd say we're pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm a pro because she is my first, but it's really easy to breastfeed now. Her latch is great. I'm comfortable doing it, and it is something that I've just learned a lot from. So if you're interested in hearing some tips and tricks I've learned on breastfeeding and some of the things, like I said, that are just essential that might make your breastfeeding journey easier, then keep on watching. Hi. Okay, so my first breastfeeding tip is to definitely make sure you are drinking enough. Whether it's water or coconut water, Body Armor by Gatorade is really good, but make sure you are staying extremely hydrated. So when I wake up each morning, I try and chug a glass of water, and then I also carry around this little corksicle cup, which is, I want to say 25 ounces, and I will try and fill this up at least 5 times a day and drink it throughout the day. Sometimes if I'm running errands, it'll be like the minimal 4 or 5 times, but if I'm home, I can keep refilling it, I will do that. But the minimum I do is 4 or 5 of these a day. I do notice when I don't get enough water, not that my milk drops, because thank goodness I've had plenty of supply, but I do notice that it isn't, I'm not as engorged, which, not engorged like it is the first few, week or two, which is painful, but it's just not constantly full, and she might have to suck a little bit to get it going instead of it having a super fast letdown. And like I said, Body Armor by Gatorade is another really, really, really good drink. If you are not a fan of water, or you just have a hard time staying hydrated, that is really, really good. There were a few days where we were kind of running errands and I didn't drink as much water as I should. And like I said, I noticed she would have to kind of suck for a minute to get it going. So I drank those for about 3 days and my supply shot up. I was catching so much in my haka, and I just had a bunch of extra milk that I was able to save up. Okay, sorry, she got a little bit fussy. She is teething. She has 2 coming in, so she just wants to suck on mom's hand. But my second tip for breastfeeding is kind of similar to my first tip, which is staying hydrated. You definitely need to eat. I know once you have your beautiful little baby, a lot of women, as soon as they're cleared from their doctor, want to immediately start losing weight and dieting, which I totally understand. But if you do plan on breastfeeding, it's really important that you don't go on a crash diet. Of course, you don't want to eat all junk food. You do want to make sure you're eating pretty healthy, because what you eat is basically going to your baby. But you don't want to cut out carbs and healthy fats and protein or do anything like that, because if you're not eating enough, your body doesn't have the energy and the calories and the resources to fuel your milk supply. So you'll notice a huge decrease. My 2 favorite foods are actually oatmeal, which everyone I feel like talks about in the breastfeeding world. You can get tons of lactation cookies online with oatmeal or lactation recipes, and they all contain oatmeal. And my second one is sweet potato. I wasn't really a sweet potato fan, honestly, until I started breastfeeding and I saw that it really helps your milk supply. And now, due to her allergies, I can't eat oatmeal. So sweet potato has been like my go-to starchy vegetable. And like I said, your diet needs to still be healthy. You don't want to go out and eat like all fast food and all this junk food to keep your calories up, but you also don't want to limit yourself on calories. You're actually supposed to increase your calories by about 400 calories a day is what I was told from my doctor, and what I kind of try and aim to do. So I have my big breakfast, lunch, and dinner full of tons of protein, fat, healthy carbs, nothing, like I said, bad for you, but I do make sure I eat enough, and then I will snack whenever I'm hungry. Okay, sorry, she got a little bit fussy, so I had to play with her and get her happy again. But my third tip is to cluster feed, or feed on demand. That was something really big for me because both sides of the family, like I said, we were all formula babies, which is totally fine. I don't think there's a difference really, you know, on formula versus breastfed or anything like that. You do you, as long as your baby is fed, of course. But, you know, right off the bat, normally formula fed babies are on a schedule, so they don't really tend to eat all the time. And so people were telling me, you know, maybe she's hungry, and then I started doubting my supply until I saw a lactation consultant, and she reassured me that that is totally normal. Once I started to just, you know, let her cluster feed, I really noticed a big difference in my supply. And really what they're doing those first few months, which is exhausting, and I know you feel like all you're doing is supplying a boob and you can't do anything, you can't shower, you can't eat, you definitely can't leave your baby with anyone because they just want you. But what they're doing is they're getting obviously the essential nutrients that they need to do their first leap or their second leap, whichever, you know, however long they cluster feed for, but they're also helping your milk come in. So by them cluster feeding, it is telling your body, hey, I need to produce more milk. I need to produce more milk. And it's setting the tone for how your supply is going to be on your breastfeeding journey. So that is huge. Don't try and go off a strict schedule, especially the first few months, or try and time it out or anything like that. If your baby's hungry those first few months, feed. Let them cluster feed. It's totally normal, and it'll actually help them sleep a little bit more at night, I personally found. So those are my 3 tips. Make sure you're staying hydrated, make sure you're eating enough, and definitely feed on demand. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry if the lighting looks a little bit different and this huge slobber stain. I had to put Blake down for a nap and feed her. So when I put her down, she like bites my shoulder while she's teething. So just excuse that. And before I jump into the essentials, I just want to say, like, none of these are necessarily essentials. Like, you really just need a boob and a kid and you can breastfeed. But these are just things that really helped me, again, as a first-time mom and figuring it out. These were kind of like my go-to products. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the essentials now. And the first essential is, again, a water bottle. It kind of goes with my tip of staying hydrated. You want to carry this around all the time so you never have an excuse not to be drinking water. I just find that this was huge for me. Every time I go to nurse, I drink a little bit out of it. While I'm nursing, I drink it, and then after, I will finish the rest of the bottle, and I just kind of keep it with me at all times. Again, the first few weeks or even month and a half when they're cluster feeding, you're gonna want this everywhere. I had like multiple cups set aside where all like the little nursing stations, wherever I would, you know, end up nursing her, I would just have like bottles of water everywhere, or like cups like this. So it is such an essential to keep your supply up. Okay, so my dog is in here now. It's like one kid, it's the other. It's okay, he's just gonna hang out back there. Okay, so my second breastfeeding essential is this Tender Care nipple cream. I know there are several out on the market. This was just the one that the hospital gave me. They gave me a bunch of little travel size tubes, and I didn't have this with me actually the day I delivered. So I went ahead and I started using those, and I just stuck with this brand. First I wanted to use, I forget what it's called, I think it's like Earth Mama or something like that, because I heard really good things about that. But like I said, this just happened to work well for me, and it was easy. It was you know, you can get it at Target, Publix, Walmart, wherever. So I just stuck with this one. It does say that that it's safe for mom and baby, and it's all natural ingredients. But I would put it on, and then before her next nursing session, I did wipe it off because I didn't want her like sucking on this, but it did wonders for me. I never had cracked nipples, thank gosh, and they never really bled, but I did get like bruising and like almost swelling towards the tips, where when she was learning how to latch, she would almost like create like a hickey. So this helped a lot with that. My next essential is this cover. Actually, it's by Copper Pearl, and it's their 5-in-1 cover. You can use it for like carts when you're out, like buggies to put in so they don't touch anything. You can put it over the stroller or car seat to keep them kind of safe, you know, not breathing in all the nasty air. It kind of covers them up. And then it's also a nursing cover. So there's a small hole and a big hole on one side. And you kind of just put it on. Sometimes I'll leave an arm in, sometimes I don't. You put it like this, and then the baby goes under it, just so when you're out in public, it's really easy to nurse. I personally am not like ballsy enough to whip out my boob yet, so I like to have a little cover, and then that way if I'm out with my family or parents or, you know, my husband or whatever, they're just people around that I know would be uncomfortable with it, I have the cover, and I don't have to go sit in like a nasty bathroom or anything like that. So this has definitely been an essential for me when I want to leave the house. Okay, I feel like everybody talks about this next product, and it is a boppy. So this is what they look like. Big half circle, and you put it around you like this, and baby will essentially lay in it. You can do the cradle or like the football hold, but it's really, really good for those first, like I said, few weeks when you're trying to figure out positions. Your arm will get tired, and then the baby's just so fragile that, you know, to hold them in and work on, you know, the latch and everything, it gets a little difficult. So this really helped me to lay her body down close to me. You always want to do their tummy to your tummy, skin to skin, and then be able to work on, you know, holding my boob and her head and making sure the latch was good instead of having to juggle her body, her head, my boob, everything like that. This did wonders for me. When I went and saw the lactation consultant, she actually had the breast friend pillow, I think it's called, and it's similar, but it's more square and it's flat. So where this like has some give, which kind of stinks honestly, that one the baby can literally sit on their side, you know, while you're practicing the cradle, and they can't really roll. It's just like flat and more square. I'll leave a picture right here. You can get them on Amazon and things like that, and I actually liked that pillow better, but because I already had the boppy, I went ahead and stuck with this. And then after like a month or two and her latch got good, I didn't really use it for a little bit, but now that she's almost 4 months and she's almost 15 pounds, my arm like starts to kill me halfway through a nursing session. So I have been actually using this a little bit more. So yeah, this has definitely been an essential for me. Okay, so my next essential I actually don't have. I threw it away as soon as I was done with it because I swear you'll have like a love-hate relationship with it, and that is the Nipple Shield. So mine was by the same brand as my nipple cream, the Medela, and what it is it's this fine piece of, I don't know if it's silicone or what, but it's this thin piece of whatever the material is, and it has a nipple, almost like a silicone bottle nipple, and what you'll do is you will put it like on your boob so that the baby feels like she's breastfeeding, but your nipple actually isn't being sucked on. I don't know how to describe it. It is being sucked on, but as the name says, there's a shield around it. So it helps you with those really painful periods and when you're engorged and sometimes you're having issues with your breast being too big or your nipple not coming out enough because of that engorgement, or even the bruising, the bleeding, the cracking, whatever. If you really want to stick with breastfeeding, you can use that. And in my experience, it didn't cause any nipple confusion. We just used it for about a week or two, and it really helped us both figure out her comfortable position, getting through that engorgement period, like I said, and her and I both being comfortable with breastfeeding. As soon as she went ahead and started latching on her own and that engorgement went away, I ditched it and I stopped using it because it is a little bit of a pain. You have to clean it every time, and then, you know, keeping track of it. My dog loved to get it, so that was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it was a lifesaver. I know so many other people, from what my lactation consultant said, it really changed the breastfeeding game for them. You know, they were about to give up, and then they found the Nipple Shield, and it just took all the pain away, and it kind of helped them transition through those first few rough weeks, especially when they're cluster feeding and it hurts and it's sore. You can have that to kind of ease a little bit of the pain. Okay, so my next breastfeeding essential is actually, they're kind of 2-in-1, and that is a nursing bra and nursing pads. So far, up until 4 months, I still have to use nipple pads at night because I do leak a little bit. So even if, you know, she's eating throughout the night or whatever, you produce the most milk at night. So you will get some leaking, and it's not that big of a deal, but it can stain, and it's just, I don't know, I don't like the feeling of like the wetness in my bra. So I will go ahead and still put the nipple pads in my bra. And then again, a nursing bra is such an essential. So I went ahead and got one to use, so excuse me, but it's just like a regular bra. Like they clip in the back, but it opens right here, or they clip off. So you can be wearing it, you know, you wear it like a normal bra, and then you just unclip and your boob is out, and then you can clip it back up and you're good to go. Again, when you're out and about, like, these are a lifesaver. You don't have to go out and take everything off, because trying to finagle a new baby breastfeeding and your bra on the way is just, it's ridiculous. So having that is so much easier. You can just undo it, you know, feed the baby, put it back on, and you're good to go. Okay, so my last breastfeeding essential is probably the most important thing in my life and my whole breastfeeding journey, and it's just been like the biggest thing since she's been born, honestly, and that is the Haakaa. I don't know if you've ever heard of these, but what it is they say it's a breast pump, but it really isn't. You don't squeeze it, well, at least I don't, while you're doing it to pump more milk out or anything, but essentially it is this silicone piece, and you squeeze it and you will latch it to whichever breast you're not feeding on, and then you let go and it will stick and hang and catch all the extra milk. So I don't know if this has contributed to having a really good milk supply or not, but it kind of lets your other boob know to constantly go ahead and release a little bit of milk even though it's not being used. And then that way you're also catching the milk that was just gonna go to waste. I actually have saved up 75 bags of milk just by the Haka. I don't pump, I don't do anything, but like I said, when I'm nursing on one side, I will attach this to my other breast, especially in the morning, because again, you're gonna be super full in the morning and this will just catch it. Sometimes I'll get an ounce or two, sometimes I'll get 4 or 5 ounces. And what I do is I'll do one side of one session and then the next session do the other side and then go ahead and bag that up. And I know a lot of people are concerned that this only catches the fore milk. It doesn't get that good fatty milk, but with me, I've noticed when I'm storing the milk, there's still like a full layer of fatty milk up top. Then you kind of just roll it together when you're ready to bag it up so it blends together, put it in a bag and freeze it. So I haven't had any issues with that. This gets, you know, it kind of drains my whole entire boob. And again, I don't know if that's what has kept my milk supply up or not, but this has just helped me save so much milk, mostly in the morning, because in the evenings now or during the day, we're starting to run more errands now that she's a little bit older and it is a little bit of a pain to bring out. But in the morning, I always use this and I'll catch 4 or 5 ounces, like I say, between 1 or 2 nursing sessions. Okay guys, so that is all my tips and essentials for breastfeeding. Hope you found something in this video helpful, whether you're a first-time mom or this is your first child you're breastfeeding or you're just having a little bit of a struggle. I hope that's something in here you can take from. If you did, I would really, really appreciate it if you could like this video or even subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.